Hello and welcome to Revealing Your Secrets, the podcast. I'm Alex Weiss and we are here again with our therapist, Meredith Levy.
Hey.
Hi, Meredith.
Hi.
We were talking about you on the show the other day.
Oh.
Do you not know that? Because you don't listen to the show.
No, I do when I can, and I'm behind.
Spare me.
I'm behind on episodes.
So we were shit-talking you.
Oof.
I'm just kidding. We weren't. But here's the thing. So a lot of these submissions are crazy stories that lead us to having some legal questions.
Sure.
So I was saying that we should probably have a lawyer for the podcast. Remember that you used to be a lawyer, and so here's my question for you, and I'm leading the witness.
Okay.
When you were a lawyer, did you practice criminal law?
Well, first of all, I am still a lawyer.
Oh, okay.
I just don't really practice.
Okay.
Every blue moon, I'll write a letter for somebody.
Okay.
You know. No,
Aww.
I really wanted to do criminal law. Although
I object.
maybe you should cut this, but I always wanted to do white collar criminal defense.
Okay, interesting.
I know. So like,
why?
I don't know, because people like, I don't know, because or like mafia lawyer. That would be amazing.
That'd be pretty cool.
Right?
Defense lawyer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. It seems counterintuitive. But no, I did probate litigation.
I don't know what that means.
Yeah, most people don't. It's like when someone dies without a will.
Oh.
So their stuff goes to probate. So I did sort of probate litigation, estate planning, that kind of stuff, wills, trusts. So yeah, it was a very small, weird. My mom did it, so I followed in her footsteps.
Okay.
Practiced for 3 years, and then I was like, no.
I'm a little disappointed.
I know.
Can you tell? I'll accept you for who you are. I really will.
It's not.
But I'm a little disappointed.
You're not wrong.
Right.
Yeah, I don't. It's not. I definitely would have been a good criminal lawyer.
I think so too.
Because it's fascinating.
Well, why did you decide to transition from being a lawyer to a therapist?
I was not a good lawyer.
Oh.
It just wasn't. Like if I don't love something, I'm not passionate about it, I can't wake up for the rest of my life every day and do it.
Sure.
I wasn't horrible. I just wasn't great.
Okay.
And
are you a great therapist?
Yeah.
You think so?
I do. I mean, for some people. Definitely my style is it's not for everybody.
How did you define your style?
Oof.
I've worked with you.
I know.
We were in a group setting though, so it's hard to say.
A little different. I mean, I'm more of like you
were very relaxed to me.
Fly by the seat of your pants.
Yes.
I'm kind of I don't know, non-conventional, if you will.
Okay, yeah, I see that.
So, it's not for everybody. And what I do, I don't do psychoanalysis. I don't do there's so many different modalities. So I'm really good at what I do, I think.
I like that.
Thanks.
I'm really good at what I do too.
Yay.
I'm not saying that articulate. It was cool to see someone just like own their shit, because I feel like most people are kind of coy or.
I always encourage people to own what they're good at, because I'm not good at that many things, and that's not a put down.
And we're not supposed to be.
Yeah, I'm not putting I'm pretty good at ping pong.
Okay.
There's a couple things, but in general, so
you're good at ping pong.
Yeah. So when people are like, "Oh yeah, I play tennis for a living," or whatever, I'm like, "Are you good?" And they're like, I'm like, "What? Are you?" Because I hope so, if that's what you're doing, So I just think I like people to own the
things that they're good at.
Yeah.
Because we're certainly all very hard on ourselves.
Exactly. And people are like, "But I'm bragging." I'm like, "So?"
It's not even bragging.
No, it's confidence. It's acknowledging what you're good at. Because I'm the first to acknowledge that I'm clumsy. I fall down. There's just stuff. I'm not a sports oriented person.
You're good at ping pong.
Good is relative.
But I feel like now I need to play you in ping pong.
Oh, are you good?
I had a table in my house growing up, so I'm not bad.
Okay. Is there a table here?
You guys have a ping pong table at Cast?
Yeah. Add it to the list.
Oh, I thought.
I thought they said we.
No, sorry.
Yeah.
No, there's no ping pong table here.
Okay.
I have one last question for you.
Yeah.
Do you ever not like a client?
Yeah.
Like you have clients that you're like, oh, I don't want to see them today.
Yep. Not currently, of course.
Do you think that when you don't like a client that they can tell, or you're pretty good at?
And it's really not ever that I don't. The ones that I would say that I have trouble with the most are like I had this teenager who I literally had to pull teeth. I'm like, how are you? Fine.
Okay.
What'd you do this weekend? Nothing. I'm like, so did you stare at the wall? I mean, no. I mean, it was literally like, I'm just
so as
like,
long as they're participating.
yeah. I mean, I honestly can find something about, I'm usually really engaged. But yeah, there are some that are, that can be really exhausting, or when they call you 47 times in a row and sort of stalkery, or, where I'm just like, no.
Well, a part of the therapy that you do, or what your company specifically offers, is coaching, so people can call you whenever. Yep. Isn't that so fun?
I know. Westside DBT. We are, yes, we do phone coaching. So after hours or whenever they can reach out.
But you obviously can set boundaries.
Yeah. I could.
But I don't.
I could. But yeah.
I mean, not all. I want you to set boundaries.
Yeah.
But you obviously care about your clients.
I do.
Is the gist I get.
Yeah. But it can definitely take over your life, my life. It's fine. It's good. I enjoy it.
That's all that matters.
Choosing beauty and wellness products can be challenging because there are so many options. Is something really worth the hype? Are you hoping to get a product as soon as possible instead of waiting 3 to 5 business days for shipping? Do you need an honest review before you make the purchase? With Flip, you can have all of that and more. Flip is the latest beauty app that is shaking up the way you can shop for beauty and wellness. Imagine shopping on Sephora, but the reviews are detailed TikTok-style videos and the shipping is Amazon fast. Shopping on Flip means you are shopping directly from real verified users of the product you're browsing. With over 500 brands available on Flip, you can shop all your favorite beauty brands and discover new holy grail products through the most honest and authentic reviews on the market. When you join Flip, you are joining a beauty rewards program unmatched by any other. Get rewarded for what you already do. Scrolling, shopping, voting, or posting your own review all result in free shopping credits. This means you can save up to 30% off your purchase as you rack up rewards. You won't see that with Sephora or Ulta. With Flip, you can also get a premium shopping experience that offers free same-day shipping, easy returns, white glove customer service, and of course, those coveted earned rewards. I have personally been in the market for a new bronzer for a moment now, and by using Flip, I was able to watch a bunch of reviews and confidently land on committing to the Trestique bronzer stick, and then I saved 30% off my purchase. Up your beauty shopping game with Flip. Download the Flip app for free today and save 30% on your first order with code SECRETS. That's code SECRETS for 30% off your first order. Code SECRETS for 30% off your first Flip order. The leaves are falling and back to school life feels are kicking in. Think fresh starts, new routines, and jam-packed to-do lists. Thankfully, Daily Harvest keeps me going with easy to prep food built on organic ingredients that I can actually feel good about. Daily Harvest delivers delicious harvest bowls, soups, flatbreads, snacks, smoothies, lattes, and more built on organic fruits and vegetables. Daily Harvest works directly with farmers to source the best of the best ingredients and freeze ingredients at peak ripeness to lock in nutrients and flavor, and they never use artificial preservatives or artificial ingredients. Everything stays fresh in your freezer until you're ready to enjoy it, helping you reduce food waste at home. Their food is nourishing and easy to prep, so I never have to think twice about what to eat for breakfast, lunch, dinner, a snack, or dessert. My all-time favorite Daily Harvest item is their mint and cacao smoothie. I drink it for breakfast. I have it for a snack, for dessert. It's so good. Daily Harvest is committed to human and planetary health, which means they do their absolute best to ensure transparency and integrity when it comes to their ingredients and the humans who grow them by supporting farmers who invest in practices that increase biodiversity and improve the health of our soil, and by delivering food in recyclable and compostable packaging where possible. Daily Harvest does the work, so all I have to do is eat and enjoy. You deserve one less thing to worry about. Let Daily Harvest take care of the fruits and veggies for you. Go to dailyharvest.com/Alex to get up to $40 off your first box. That's dailyharvest.com/Alex, ALYX, for up to $40 off your first box. dailyharvest.com/Alex.
All right, well, let's get into some people's business.
You've got mail.
Hi, Alex. This secret is a bit dark, so trigger warning for self-harm. I haven't told anyone this because it holds a lot of trauma for me. So I'm sure you're familiar with the Trevor Project. Well, about a year ago, I was going through a deep depressive episode. I am diagnosed bipolar, and I felt as though I had no one to reach out to for help. I heard that there's a help resource through the Trevor Project. So, as a queer person who needs help, it seemed like the right choice. I reached out because I had been self-harming and I knew I needed to stop but couldn't. I was connected with someone who I could supposedly get help from. When I explained to them what I was feeling, they asked for details, what I was using, where I was doing it, etc. And then they asked if I was doing it safely. They asked if I was self-harming safely. I answered no, obviously, and they proceeded to tell me it's okay to harm yourself if you do it with a clean blade. I am not exaggerating. Unfortunately, I listened, and today I am realizing how fucked up that is, and hold a grudge on the organization as a whole. I really hope whoever I was chatting with isn't working there anymore and causing more harm to other individuals.
Wow.
Is that bad advice?
So, the sentence asking if you're doing it safely makes total sense.
Okay.
Because there is self-harm, okay, so it's sort of like the difference between shooting up with clean needles or dirty ones.
Okay, or having unprotected sex versus protected sex.
Mm-hmm.
Why is
I don't know
Amanda
about the sex
moaning?
Oh, I was saying.
part. No, she was,
Oh.
I knew you were going to say the clean needle thing because that's
Okay.
what came to mind.
Why
for
do
me,
you
too.
disagree with the sex part?
Well, because I don't think of sex as
Oh, it
self-harm,
can
even
be.
if you don't use protection, that can be great.
But it's like, I'm point being, you can minimize damage if you are engaging in that as a form of self-harm. Does that make sense?
Oh, if you're using sex as
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely, yes.
Back to what you were
Yeah.
saying.
So it's harm reduction, basically,
Yes.
within the self-harm idea.
Yeah.
So if the person actually said, it's okay to harm yourself if you do it with a clean blade, that's not okay. If you're going to harm yourself, use a clean blade,
Okay.
right?
It's all in the wording.
Yeah, well, and it's because, I mean, again, ideally, no self-harm. That's horrible, and I maybe the person did actually mean what they said, but I hope they meant if you're going to self-harm.
Then use, yeah.
Yeah, so are you self-harming safely? I think that person might have wanted to explain what they meant,
Right.
or...
Not to encourage them to keep harming.
Yeah.
As long as they use a clean blade.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean...
Have you ever given a client bad advice?
I don't give advice, really.
Oh, right. We've talked about this,
Yeah.
which frustrates me.
I know. There are times where I will say, after my client recently asked me, should I postpone my wedding? And after we talked about it for a while, I said, well, my thought is if XYZ, then yes. And if XYZ, then no. Right. So, but I don't normally
Give advice.
Yeah. And I'm sure I have given advice ever. And I'm sure it's been bad before. I can't think of anything specifically.
Sure.
But
you're only human.
I'm only human. Yeah. Trying to think of anything specific, but
It's okay.
definitely if you're going to do drugs, like I carry around fentanyl testing strips. I give them to my clients or my niece and nephew, like that stuff. So I'm like, if you're going to do coke, use a fentanyl testing strip before,
Mhm.
You're a cool mom.
Also,
Wait, you're not a mom, but
ish.
I'm wondering if, because sometimes at these organizations, the people are volunteers, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So
Right,
maybe
so they
it's just
don't
someone who's
know-
just misspoke, possibly.
Totally. Most places like this, you have to go through a pretty rigorous training. I don't know
Okay.
about the Trevor Project, but I know like the suicide hotline, you have to go through a really rigorous training. So that ideally you don't,
right.
because you kind of have people's lives in your hands.
Right.
So,
Well.
but yeah.
Also, quick circle back to I need to let the audience know that when Amanda was speaking, you might have heard a little sound effect. When Amanda gets a notification on her computer, it
Oh my
says,
gosh, sorry. I know I'm turning it
hummus.
off.
I didn't hear
okay.
anything.
Oh, I did. It made me laugh.
Oh no.
It's okay. I think it's funny.
I'm
I
turning
think
it
the
off.
audience needs to know.
Oh,
It kind of like fills
it
in your
does.
character.
I think it does.
a little
Yes.
bit.
So
It does.
everyone, so you know, when I get a notification
It says
at work,
hummus.
it's a breathy voice saying hummus.
Oh my God. Is that what that was?
Yeah,
That's
so
what
you
that
did hear it.
was. I'm pausing it now so you won't hear it again
Sad.
for a couple hours.
Okay.
So, my boyfriend, male 19, and I, female 18, have been together for about 7 months now. Before we started dating, I asked him what his boundaries are in a relationship, and I explained to him what mine are. My biggest boundary I have in a relationship is for my partner to not watch porn, since I personally find it disrespectful and kind of like mentally cheating. He agreed and promised he wouldn't watch it, and so we started dating. I would constantly talk to him about how I feel insecure about my body sometimes, and I'm scared I'm not enough for him sexually, and that I'm scared he's going to turn to porn. He reassured me that it will never happen. Now, 7 months later, I found out he's been watching porn behind my back and lying to me about it for our whole relationship. He apologized, and I can tell he feels guilty, but my heart feels shattered, and I feel betrayed. What do I do?
Yikes.
What would you tell a client if they came to you with this?
I would ask them what their reason is for
not liking pornography.
Right. And for feeling that it's disrespectful and the mental cheating. And I would ask them about that. And I would definitely validate, like if she set her boundaries in the beginning and he agreed to them.
And then lied.
That sucks. Also, I could see that could happen because if he really liked her and wanted to date her, but also had these other needs that he wanted to.
Because it's not personal. Someone's porn habits does nothing. Not nothing, but often very little to do with the relationship. They're going to do it anyways.
Yeah, for sure. And I think we talked about, I used to work in sex addiction. And so I'm very familiar with the world of pornography in that respect. And it is hard. I mean, I think that it can feel, and it can be a whole, if it becomes an obsession and an addiction, that's different.
Yeah.
But, I think that it has nothing to do specifically with her boyfriend in terms of like feeling insecure about her body, connected that to porn. And,
so just exploring where the discomfort comes from for her, and not to invalidate it, because maybe that's just her boundary, and
totally.
That's fine.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Do you think porn is cheating in a relationship?
No.
Yeah.
I don't. And I'm giving you that so I can say yes and no, but I'm just giving you the no because...
Well, that's how you feel.
That's how I feel.
Yeah.
I could see how someone could think it was, but...
I remember hearing once that your brain can't tell the difference between what you're watching and like whether you're the one engaging in it. I don't know if that's facts, but if that is true, then I could see why someone would be disturbed. I don't even really care personally for monogamy, so it doesn't matter to me. But
we could talk about that for a long time.
Okay, we can. The part of porn that disturbs me is how sexist it is, like inherently. And so in my experience dating dudes, if they're not really on my speed in that conversation, it rubs me the wrong way for them to be participating in this culture that like exacerbates and like perpetuates these ideas about women and objectifying them and sex being for male pleasure.
For sure. And I agree. I think there's a lot more now porn companies that are women creating porn for women.
Yes.
For me, I think it's way better to watch.
Sure.
Like it's much more aesthetically pleasing and less like
abrasive.
Yeah.
Plot lines are better.
Yeah. It's not always like the, plumber or whatever coming.
Do you think, sorry.
No, I was stereotype.
Right. Do you think porn in general is bad for you? As a sex addiction therapist, not anymore, but you worked in that field. Can you, for example, like alcohol, no doubt it's bad for us. It's poison. It's legal, but it's poison.
Yeah.
So would you say porn, like, no, it's bad, but we do it?
No, not at all. I think anything that starts to negatively impact your life.
Okay.
Right. So I had clients that would masturbate to the point of injury and have to go to the hospital. Or
I'm sorry, why am I
gosh.
laughing?
Because that's just not something you hear every day.
What kind of injury do you get from over masturbation?
Like rug burn.
Basically.
Were they embarrassed when they told you that?
Initially.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean.
Oh my gosh.
But the whole point is that having someone that you can talk to about this stuff that's not judging you.
Right.
And, initially I was like, whoa. But
that makes sense.
Yeah.
I have a follow-up question, actually.
Yeah.
So for me, I feel like the bigger question in a relationship or maybe the more relevant one for me is social media, and now there's this whole like
OnlyFans where you
world
can sort
of-
of subscribe
yeah,
to specific people.
and you may know these women, you know. I mean, is there a difference there? Because for me, that like I personally wouldn't set a boundary that my partner couldn't watch porn, but I question sometimes, you know, how I feel around like them following a bunch of women that are in bikinis and whatever, and them liking and interacting with those photos.
Participating.
It's one thing to look, but if you're liking, I feel like I don't know how I feel about that. So I'm interested to hear what you have to say.
Super prevalent with many of my clients.
Yeah.
I think, again, to what extent and why, like, why would it bother you, Amanda? Let's just say the Instagram thing. Like, why would it bother you if your boyfriend was following chicks in bikinis and liking?
I don't know. I guess the line is, do we know these people? You know? Because then it kind of feels like.
Yes, I agree. I would say we don't know these people.
I
We're
guess
just
it's
looking
like
at
my
models
own.
and
Yeah,
stuff.
totally. And I guess some of it is my own. That would be my own stuff to look at, right?
Yeah.
But I also feel like it can be.
It can be
there are
both.
levels.
Yes.
Like it can. I've
Yes.
seen
Yeah.
men that are following like scads of women. It's insane. Like if you're following a few, you're following a few. But there are
Yeah.
some that it's clearly gotten, like you said, it's anything that's impacting your life negatively. Like to me, if you're being like, that is excessive, and I've seen it look really excessive, and I would feel like weird entering into a relationship with someone who's just like super actively doing that all the
Totally.
time. Like
Yeah.
that to me would feel like a bit of an invade. I don't know. I just don't feel great about that. But I also
I get
don't.
that.
I don't. It's something I do think about as is how much of this is mine to look at, and which is why, you know, and it's kind of like we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. It's not a situation for me right now, you know, but it's something that I think about as like could be an issue for me, so, you know.
Yeah, I also think the question is, why are you looking at your boyfriend
I
who he's
know.
following,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Or who he's
That's a good question too.
and I think it's just a matter of like being open and honest and being able to have a dialogue about it.
Yeah.
My last few boyfriends, like, we never followed each other on social media.
How long did you date? What was the longest relationship where you didn't follow each other?
2.5 years.
And you didn't follow
Oh
each
my
other?
gosh.
No.
I feel like that's almost unheard of to now.
Why?
Because it's just
Unnecessary. Yeah.
total. And by the way, like,
I thought you didn't have social media.
I have
Do you have
social
it?
media.
Oh, you just keep it private.
Yeah.
I can't
It's-
follow you?
You can follow me. It's literally dogs and my niece and nephew.
I love dogs.
Okay.
I don't care for children.
Okay. Well, they're teens now, so.
Okay. I don't
Or
care
maybe
for
a picture
teens
of my
either.
garden sometime. I mean, it's real. I post like twice a year.
I'll just say it feels like social media these days, with dating being the way it is like part of the early vetting process. I have people ask me
I
for my
know.
social media right away.
Yeah.
And of course that can be a boundary. I can say, no, I don't give my social media out to people, you know, that I'm just meeting, but I don't do that because I also feel like I have nothing to hide and my social media
Yeah.
is cool and who cares if they look, you know?
Yeah.
In conclusion,
Yes. Oh, but also I just want to address, I don't want to skip over the fact that he totally lied to her for their entire
right,
relationship.
that's a whole other
Right.
issue.
Yeah.
Right.
So
yes.
She set a boundary and he
Yes.
he lied.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, her heart feels shattered and she feels betrayed. Like, what do? You talk about it with him. And if you feel like you want to continue in the relationship, it's possible.
Right.
You can work through it. But also, that sucks.
Right.
So that's a whole different, I mean, yes, not overlook that.
That's a good point. I'm glad you added that.
Yeah.
And in terms of the just photos online and whatnot, it sounds like it's a walking a line between understanding where your insecurities are coming in from and then just understanding if there's actually a discomfort with your partner being excessive in behavior.
Totally. And if you feel disrespected, like,
That's
valid.
a feeling and that's valid. Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. And also what you said earlier is like, well, why are you looking at your partner's account? I feel like that, well, it could be a signal to your own insecurity, but also could be a signal of you being with a partner you don't trust.
For sure.
I've been there
Yes.
where I was just looking for
Of course.
confirmation of what I already knew.
Exactly. Yes, 100%. When you're not secure in a relationship, that's usually when these things come up.
Right.
But,
Right?
I mean, just devil's advocate over here. What if you're just vetting the person and that's part of my looking at what they're
yeah.
like. Who are they following? I was talking to a guy who I found out was following Ivanka Trump and Donald Trump's son. And that gave me a lot of information. So, you know, sometimes it's helpful to see who they're following. And if it's like a bunch of women, I'm like, I don't know that I love that. Like a bunch of naked, those certain types of, you know what I'm talking about. Like that type of account, you're following that many, that to me is a bit of a red flag.
Yeah, and it just gives me like, it tells me like, I like objectifying women.
You like objectifying women or looking at hot naked women?
That is objectifying women.
It can be objectifying women. And also I can like looking at my hot naked boyfriend or my hot naked girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
Like looking at hot naked women or men in general is not necessarily objectifying. Like,
well, what do you think? Where does it teeter over?
well, I mean, yeah, that's a good question. I do I love a good man's ass or chest when he walks by. Like, do I objectify? I guess.
Okay.
Am I okay with that? Yeah.
All right.
Like,
But you're also not following them on like.
Maybe
how
she
do
is.
you know? No, actually, now that
Maybe
you guys
she
are saying
is.
this, I really have to check who I'm following
I'd like to see.
because I have
request
no
you.
clue.
You know what's funny? We were talking about how following your Instagram accounts, social media can cause like disharmony in relationships.
Yeah.
And in this very moment in this room, I was like mad for a second. I was like, "You have social media? Why don't I follow you?" That was just like a real time example of it causing conflict.
Yeah, that's amazing. Exactly.
I really love my girlfriend. We've been together since 5 years, but recently I went out with friends and this girl who I never met before started dancing and kissing me, and I wasn't even that into it, but I didn't stop it. And we went to the toilets and I ended up cheating, and I don't understand why I did it. But now she got my phone number, and when she asked me if I wanted to have lunch sometime, I was like, sure. I just never saw this coming from me, and I wasn't drunk, which makes me feel like a bigger asshole. I could guess what this is.
What?
A case of people pleasing.
Sure.
It seems like that's not what you were thinking.
I'm wondering if it's a guy.
Hard to say. Why? What's the difference?
Because they're, I don't want to get like yelled at for this, but so there are men and women have different brains, and there's a lot of things genetically and chromosomally that have to do with the way that men view sex, or, you know, they talk about how a man is literally programmed to, when a woman crosses the street, like he goes like that and watches them. I always say to guys, even people I've dated or whatever, that would never cheat, I'm like, okay, so if Beyonce came over and sat on your face, would you push her off? And the answer is most often no. Like, so I'm just...
You're telling me it's science that men cheat?
No, it's not science.
We're giving them a pass.
They can they can control it, of course. So can women. There's just a difference between the way men approach sex and women, obviously, right? Like, I mean, there just is. Like,
so you think that this was just like his natural response?
I do, kind of.
Interesting. Because really, you know what? I disagree with you.
Sure.
And I'm a little angry. I'm not angry. I just don't like, I hate giving the pass of, it's biological. You know what I mean?
Totally. And it's not that, like, I'm not giving that as an excuse.
An explanation.
It could be.
Here's why I think it's people pleasing.
Okay.
Because she asked me if I wanted to have lunch sometime, and I was like, sure. Okay.
Right.
This has gone to the next step, and he's still somehow participating. To me, that sounds like someone who doesn't know how to set a boundary and is passive because they'd rather make someone else feel comfortable than care about their comfort.
Totally. And I also think, you know, there's a lot of times where, especially as women, it happens to men too, but as women, when a man is sort of sexually aggressive, we can feel very like, you know, like deer in headlights. It can be really scary.
Mm-hmm.
So there are times where a lot of women have a hard time standing up for themselves or stopping something, or even if they don't really want to do it.
Yeah.
So that could be a similar situation there where it's like, oh, this is weird. How did this girl just start kissing me on the dance floor? You know, kind of
It's like you're
Not-
almost so surprised that you're not really even acting.
Yeah, like
you're
not knowing how to say no.
making conscious decisions.
Right. The guy could not know how to say no either. And, he didn't even really want to. I mean, again, he's questioning himself for sure. He feels badly about it. He feels like an asshole. I'm not saying it's okay that he cheated. And I'm not just saying because he has a penis, like this is what happened, because I don't even know if it's a man.
Yeah.
But there are, and a lot of people will say like there's no scientific proof, but I mean, there is some scientific proof about how it's like even starting with little boys in school, and it's very fascinating. I can have some more concrete information, but this is what happened. I like blank and I'm like, I don't know what I'm talking about.
Like when you get in front of the lights, you're
Yes.
just like,
Yeah. So again, I just want to clarify, like it sucks, and it definitely could be people pleasing, and it could be just questioning, like maybe all of a sudden she kissed him and he was like, oh, and maybe he got horny. I mean, I'm going to assume he did, because if it was a guy, kind of have to be turned on to have sex usually. Right.
I don't know if that's true.
It's kind of hard to have sex without a boner.
Right. But I don't know if like having a boner means you're turned on. I just remember this really specific scene from that show Transparent, which, oh my God, have you seen it?
Yeah.
Oh, so good. You kind of look like one of the actresses from the show.
My.
But like, I don't know if this is messed up to say. Like, it does, but it doesn't matter. I'm going to go backwards.
Okay. Trying to think of who's on that show.
The one that was a lesbian.
I mean, that makes sense. Sure.
You guys exude a similar energy. It's fine. I'm going to move backwards now and ask you this following question, which is...
Wait, can we ask one of the guys back there if...
Oh, yeah.
To get a boner?
Well, let me quickly finish what I was going to say, and then let's ask them. In the show, the boy, the son, was groomed by his babysitter, and there was this like very memorable line where he yelled, like, just because it's a boner doesn't mean it's consent.
Totally. It's a natural, it can be just a natural response to being touched or...
So I guess it's turned on, but is it...
Not turned on, but...
stimulated.
Having an erect penis.
Hey, guys back there?
Yes, they heard you. They're all thinking really hard.
Answer?
Would anyone like to answer that question?
I'm a different case because I've identified as demisexual, so if I don't have any emotional connection, I can't.
Oh.
And
Wow.
I've even had times where I like think I'm supposed to be a guy, and we get to that part, and I just can't do it.
Wow.
That's just
Okay,
me, but
cool.
I know I'm not in the majority.
Okay, interesting. Okay.
Well, I like a variety. This is
Well,
good.
anyone else?
Yeah, I guess I'd have to be turned on maybe in the direction.
Okay.
Okay.
Brandon?
I'm focused on
He's busy. He says no
Brandon chooses
comment.
not to
He
participate.
says no comment. I looked it up, by the way. It's Amy Landecker that you're thinking of.
Yeah, you kind of look like her.
I don't know who she is.
It's fine. It's
She's
fine.
I could see it.
It's
Okay.
very slight. It's very
see
slight.
it. I could definitely see it. I'm gonna
Fair
save
enough.
this. We'll show you after.
I hate. It's not. Sometimes it's not the move to tell someone they look like someone else because it caught.
I know, because I know it's like if they don't. But she's pretty.
I'm great. Then we're good.
She's
But
hot.
I also want to just these things I've been saying, they're all not black and white, and I get
Right.
it. I totally get it. I'm not for sure. A lot of guys have to have an emotional connection. A lot of times
I think
they don't.
It's a combination of the two, probably. You
right.
know?
Oh, right. So you're a combination of sort of the
Both biological response
And
and
people pleasing.
People pleasing, and just also. Complacency. This person says they've been together for 5 years. Like, if I know for myself, like when you get to that point, it just things sort of do happen that way. You're out without your partner, and it's something weird happens, and you're not motivated enough to really put a hard line there.
Yeah.
And so I can see that too. I think that's part of it too.
Yeah.
Before we move on, I would like to quickly speak on people pleasing.
Okay.
Because that's what I see when I read this, which is probably just a projection of my own self.
No, it totally makes sense though. 100%.
Okay.
It absolutely makes sense.
So I want to ask you if you generally have any advice on people pleasing.
Don't do it.
Okay, I have advice.
What?
This is I'm a reformed people pleaser.
Okay.
So here's my advice.
Okay.
First off, I realized one day that my comfort is important and other people's comfortability is not more important than my own. I mean, not that I want to make people uncomfortable, but I had spent my whole life making sure other people were cool and fine and not taking care of my own emotions. Step 1.
Okay.
Step
Great.
2.
Yes.
It's a DBT skill.
Mm-hmm.
It's the STOP skill, which is an acronym for stop, take a... Can you tell me what the acronym stands for?
Can you tell me?
Stop. Take like a count
Take
of...
a pause.
Take a count of what's going on around you. Observe. And then participate mindfully.
Wow.
Something like that.
In my mind, STOP wasn't even an acronym. It was literally just
stop. I mean,
because that's the first.
It says what it means.
But yes, thank you for that.
Because people pleasing it's a unconscious behavior. So you need to stop and kind of observe what's going on before you can then proceed in a non-unconscious way. And then lastly, learn how to set boundaries. Easier said than done.
Yes.
But
proceed mindfully.
Thank you, Amanda.
You're so good,
our Google
fact checker.
checker.
But yeah, I think it can be, people pleasing can be, so it can be an internal thing that you don't take care of yourself, and because you're always pleasing other people.
Yeah.
Myself, I'm take care of myself, but I love doing things for other people, but sometimes not to my own detriment, but it doesn't get reciprocated often because I'm a very much like a go above and beyond person, right? So I think it can go, I don't know if that's because it makes me happy to do things for other people or if I'm hoping that they'll like me more. I mean, I don't think that's why. I just like doing things.
But as long as you're taken care of, your people pleasing doesn't seem to be as harmful as the...
Right. It just, over
previous.
time, it can be disappointing.
Yes.
Right? When other people don't do for you, or if I ask for something, which I rarely do, and someone's like, nah, I'm like, really? I never asked for anything. But
aw, I relate to that.
yeah.
Well,
Anyway.
And you end up hurting yourself because now this person has to live with this guilt.
Yes.
Right?
Oh,
so
totally.
You cause pain to yourself in the process of trying to help,
guilt
mitigate pain
sucks.
for someone else.
But the guilt is letting him know that he crossed his own moral boundaries and doesn't like what he did.
And cause pain to your partner when they eventually find out.
Yep. Or they
don't, or who knows.
Or he didn't use a condom if it's a man, and then he gives her some disease and it's fucked up.
In conclusion, that's fucked up. Let's move on. Hey, recently came across your channel on Facebook. I know you do secrets, but this may be more of a confession. I've held this in me for 15 years, yet I think I have to confess it to someone that I don't know personally. 15 years ago, my sister ended herself. I'll never know why, since she never wrote a note or told us anything because she was always private. I loved and still love her to this day. She'll always be in my memories and this sporty, kind, loving older sister. However, I've always held resentment for what she did. I know it says sick to say, but she left me with her children. I know it sounds rude, but I had a life. I was a young 24-year-old who just finished university with a fine arts degree. I wanted to become a graphic designer, see my work on film posters, and design a company logo and see it on display was a dream to me. However, when she ended it, I fell into a spiral of depression. I was left with her kids, and my sister, my best friend, ended it. I've always wanted kids, but not till I was in my late 20s. Being left with a 7-year-old and a 5-year-old at 24 felt overwhelming. My cousin, aunties, and uncles always tell me I'm amazing and strong for raising 2 children at my age, but I felt weak. I had my life taken away from me. I couldn't get the jobs I wanted since I was performing at low standards. I felt depressed and isolated. My hard work at uni was all for nothing. I'm left with the children. I know it sounds rude. I love my 2 nephews, but I can't help but feel my sister ruined the life I wanted. It took me years to get out of a depression. I couldn't get good jobs. I was sleeping late and working up late. I lost touch with my best friends. I had nothing and no one. I lost my apartment because I wasn't paying rent and couldn't afford luxuries because I had 2 extra mouths to feed. I feel like my sister took my life as well when she ended hers. I've never been able to recover. I missed out on my 20s. I've never expressed this to any of my family. I've held it in for so long. I feel like what my sister did was selfish and ignorant. I hate to say it, but it's how I feel. It's been so hard on me since. I'm in I'm now 39 and my life has improved. I got married and I adore my 2 nephews and will give them all the best. But that life I wanted was taken away from me by my sister. Why couldn't she have just told me? I was always there for her. I know this sounds bleak and not the typical secret you were expecting from Google Forms, but I've always held resentment. Sad.
So sad.
Well, it makes a lot of sense that she feels resentful.
Yeah, I don't think there's any surprise to that. And I would imagine her family would know that. But how could you not have resentment of anybody that just changes your life path?
Yeah, without you deciding.
Yeah, that's crazy. And again, it's like, if with your sibling or whatever, if anything ever happens to me, then like I'll take the kid, or you'll take my kids or whatever. But that usually is an accident, right? You're preparing for horrible things that may happen.
She opted into that trajectory.
Yeah. And obviously, suicide is sometimes doesn't feel like an option for people.
Yes.
And also, like I wonder why her parents didn't take the kids.
Or any of the older family members.
Yeah.
I feel like this is a good example of a DBT skill. Do you know which one?
So many. Which one?
I'm thinking of a dialectic when 2 things are true.
Yeah.
She loves her nieces, nephews, children are of her own now.
Right.
But she's also resentful that she has to be their caretaker and resentful of the person who gave them to her.
Yeah. Of course, both are true for sure. And I'm sure she's really sad about her sister and also really angry. It makes sense that she fell into a depression.
Mm-hmm. Honestly, you're valid. Like, I feel like this isn't even that much of a secret. Obviously, there's shame around the resentment.
Yes.
But it's a super normal experience.
100%. I think I definitely, it makes me sad. It's horrible. And I think feeling guilt to about feeling resentment makes sense, or feeling shame about it. But like, it's totally okay. And I'm glad that your life is going well now and got married and,
Maybe if anything, they can give themselves a little like extra like selfish time because that's what they missed out on.
Yeah.
I don't like the word selfish, but
self-care,
self-full.
Yes. Compassion. Don't judge yourself. And yeah, you did miss out on your 20s.
Maybe do some things you felt like you wanted to do then.
It is never too late.
It's never too late.
No, for sure.
So go have some fun.
Yeah.
You deserve it.
Don't judge yourself.
I know. I feel like when we suffer, to add the judgment of I shouldn't feel this way never helps.
Shitting all over yourself.
Don't shit all over yourself.
Yeah.
That's messy.
Yeah. It's messy.
All right. So this one is a hot topic because we got a submission a while ago from a girl who was upset that her boyfriend didn't go down on her.
Yeah.
And you were team, actually, people have boundaries and it's okay.
Yeah.
And I was team, screw him.
Right.
Like, get your needs met, girl.
Yeah.
There were a lot of people who were upset in the comments, and I later apologized, actually, I don't think you know this, in an episode, and I just said, look, I didn't think that maybe he had a sensory issue, or yeah, people should have boundaries. That's allowed. I was just speaking from a place of a judgment that men sometimes don't care about women's needs in bed.
Totally. 100%.
We got an update from the girl.
Okay, I'm excited.
Update on boyfriend who I thought didn't like going down on me, LOL. So I asked him about it, and we came to the conclusion that if he has come inside me in the last 2 days, then it won't taste good. Aha. I already knew that cum changes the pH of a vagina, but we Googled it, and a vagina is acidic while semen is alkaline. So it changes everything about the smell, taste, etc. when it can regulate again, which is some interesting shit, IMO. But he says I really do taste amazing when he hasn't come inside me. So it all makes sense now, LMAO. He said, I guess we can't have both, but I really want to do it more. I also really do love this man with all my heart. Also, seeing my secret on here gave me the courage to actually ask him and not think about it potentially hurting my feelings or being awkward. So thank you, Alex.
Wow. Look what fucking communication does.
You're happy. I'm not.
Why are you not happy?
Surprise.
I know. Okay, so this is really dumb of me because I've already
judge yourself.
apologized. Okay, I already apologized though, and I'm gonna backtrack really quick.
That's okay.
Great. we'll see if the audience agrees.
Well.
So again, people should be able to have boundaries, and that's totally fine. But the problem I have with this secret is that he didn't say, or if she added, and so he's not coming in me as much so that he can go down on me more because he knows that I like that. That's what's missing. It's like still kind of very much about.
But what if she wants to have sex? What if that's her choice too? Just wondering.
That's a good point.
You're right. You're right.
I mean, it could be.
You're right. Fuck, you're right.
I mean, if it were, and so he said, so too bad, that's what happens.
Right.
Then I think it would be different.
Okay.
Then I would agree.
You're right. So this to you, a client comes to you, they say this, you go, amazing.
Fuck yeah. She literally said, who I thought didn't like going, she communicated with him because after seeing her secret on her, she felt like she could ask him. She communicated with him and found out that
there's a reason.
What she thought was that it wasn't that he doesn't like to go down on her. He loves the way she tastes. He wants to go down on her. But that, and also
these other details
Yeah.
alter the experience.
Yeah.
Okay, so Meredith says it's a win.
I think it's a huge win. I mean, anyone else?
You guys think it's a win back there?
I think it's a win.
Yeah, of course you do, Eddie. Sorry.
I mean, I know. It's harder for me to accept this as a win. I'll just say that.
Amanda and
Why?
I are probably viewing it through our own personal
Yes, I was
experiences with
gonna
some dudes.
Yes, I was
Just a
going to
lot
say
of
that.
dudes are out here being a little selfish. I don't mean to
Yes.
overgeneralize. In my experience.
No, in my experience as well. And in many of
and
my
I've been
friends'
with men and women,
experiences.
and men tend to be more takers than givers than the women I've been with.
So, right, totally.
Which definitely makes sense. I mean,
Yeah.
But
right.
there are some things. I mean, I think that's an interesting perspective, Meredith, because there are some things that we don't know from this submission.
Right.
Like the person isn't saying, I also love when he comes in me, so I don't want him to do that less.
Right.
That's true.
I mean, I think, yeah. Isn't the coming inside you better than not? I mean,
I mean,
Yeah,
I think
no,
it
it's
would
awesome.
you would have to decide.
you lose something when it's
You would have to decide. Oh my
Removed.
gosh. Yes, it would be like Wayne, like, do I want him to go down on me? Do I want him to come in me?
I want it all.
I want it all too. Can we not have it all?
Yeah, I just think, by the way, like, haven't you ever sucked a dick that their cum tastes horrible?
Yeah.
And you're just like, okay.
You just kind of go, well, right. I don't love it. I know, but and this is what people I think are upset about. Is like, we shouldn't tell people to just like suck it up. You know what I mean?
Literally.
Yeah. But I guess
Yeah,
I
no,
don't know,
I'm like,
sometimes I do.
And can also, I mean, is it? I think it's true that the cum can change based on what they eat. So if they eat fruit, it tastes bad.
Yeah.
Isn't that true? I think it's really true. So that doesn't mean just because it tastes bad one time doesn't mean it's going to be true.
no, for sure. And yes, I would probably say like,
That's probably true for women too. So hey, eat
for
some
sure,
pineapple.
eat some pineapple. I was just gonna say that could be a total myth, by the way. I don't know,
Okay.
but it sounds accurate.
What were you gonna say?
Yeah, that I don't know what I would do if my partner's cum tasted disgusting.
Right.
Like that would suck.
You would give them pineapple.
I would, or I would just say, let's have a compromise. Like, I'll give you head, but I'm spitting it out.
Well, that's the difference between oral
That's
sex with men and
so-
women. Is
I
that
know.
you either don't get it at all, or
I
like you
know.
just, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
Ugh, that sucks.
yeah. I mean, I haven't.
mean, yeah. It
I
just
think
feels like a
also
bummer.
now that I'm thinking about it, it has happened to me plenty of times, and I probably didn't hold a boundary for myself. Like, why am I going to force myself to swallow disgusting tasting semen?
And I guess this kid shouldn't have to push himself to do something he doesn't want to either. And when I say I guess, I mean he shouldn't. Period.
yeah, it's hard. It's not black and white.
It never is, and I'm angry about
I know,
it, Meredith.
I know. I'm sorry. Maybe we'll get something. I mean, there are some black and white things.
Right.
You know what I just heard?
What?
Anger is a cheap emotion.
It is
Oh.
a cheap emotion.
Just like the easiest, most accessible emotion.
Oh, not for everybody. There's a lot of people
Interesting.
can't go to anger.
Oh, okay, that's
Okay, all right, Meredith. I
Yeah,
hear you.
yeah.
Alright.
I think that's sad. Anger is a
Therapist
cheap
clapping
emotion.
back. I like it.
Sad.
why were you even saying that in the first place?
I don't know, because you just keep saying I'm angry, I'm angry.
Oh,
I didn't realize. I feel uncomfortable.
I mean, I have a lot of people say anger is only a secondary emotion. I disagree. There are some things that, like, I don't know. I'm fucking so tired, and I've been driving around, and someone just stole my parking spot. Do I feel disrespected? No, I just fucking feel angry.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Does it always have to be a secondary emotion?
What do you mean by secondary emotion? Like
there's always something underneath the anger.
It. Okay, I was no, it doesn't have to be.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think so.
I think it's what Amanda's probably saying is that sometimes people use anger to like act out on their pain.
Oh,
but
totally.
You're saying it's both are true.
Yeah.
That's true, and anger is valid and justified and awesome that some people can reach that at some point if they can't otherwise.
Right. Yeah. It's what do we do with our anger? How do we channel it?
Yeah.
You know, in a productive way, make change, or also, a lot of people have a hard time getting angry at people or getting angry in general.
I actually struggled with that for a while.
Yeah.
I would get angry at myself, but nobody else. Anyways, this isn't about me.
Well, now you're angry with me. It's good.
I'm angry with you.
Yeah. What you said that you are.
Oh, I'm not actually.
Okay.
They said, I really do love this man with all my heart. So I feel like if they're happy with, if they've
Then we're
come
happy.
to us, then we're happy.
We're
right?
happy that you're happy. Fist pump?
Fist bump. Did you say fist pump?
Yeah. Fist bump.
Fist bump.
What's a fist pump?
I don't know.
That's like Jersey Shore.
Okay, fist bump.
Fist bump. Yay. I love that you remembered I don't do high fives.
I mean,
Oh, it's
how
a
could I
whole
forget?
thing.
It's a whole thing.
Guess what? It turns out so many people agree with you. We were surprised.
yeah, a
That's
lot
totally a
of
thing.
commenters said that they makes them uncomfortable as well.
Nice.
Yeah,
So
you're not alone.
You are representing a whole slew of people.
I'm not alone, and I'm not alone in that I sleep with a stuffed animal.
True.
A lot of people
were receptive to that as well.
Yep.
Yeah.
So,
Maybe that's another merch idea. What would Meredith do?
If you wanted a stuffed animal
That's a good
merch, what animal would it be?
oh my.
Or it could be like a figurine of some sort.
A figurine.
A little you?
Figurine.
I don't ever want a little me.
We could do like little like one for each shoulder where it's like, what would Meredith do? You know? Like,
Actually, it's funny you
love
say
it?
that. I'm doing a whole deep dive right now, research on Star Wars. Doug, who I do the other podcast with, he's very
Your mental breakdown.
Your mental breakdown. He's
Check it out.
very he has these great analogies between Darth Vader and Yoda, and so I just started deep diving yesterday and doing all this research because it's so. I'm always a big fan of having the light and dark and integrating the two.
Mm-hmm.
So
Carl Jung.
yes, so I on the back of my ears I did this forever. I have a devil wing on the back of one ear tattoo and an angel wing on the other.
Oh.
Because, it's always the dark and the light. So
Meredith, you're so cool. So
they need to be redone. They're old and
well. So you're
so cool.
You're so cool.
You just became
we
10%
adore
cooler.
you.
10%.
I mean, you were already a lot of
I
percent.
love you guys.
Aw.
You guys are cool. You're cool.
Oh my god, we're all so cool.
What does that
Oh my
mean?
gosh, there's so much cool
this
in this
tattoo?
room.
Yeah.
This is like a watch, and this is Morse code for N and N and Morse code for W. So it's a watch that says now. So it just kind of like reminds me to be
Oh
present.
my God.
Yeah. It's funny. I came up with the idea and I told my mom, who's not really team tattoos, and she was like, "You should get that."
That is genius.
Thank you.
Holy shit.
You can get it too if you want.
I might.
That'd be so cool. Let's have
What is,
matching
does that
tattoos.
one have any meaning or?
I choose not to tell you.
Okay.
Anyways. Well,
You just-
what?
You're like, I choose not to tell. Or no,
oh,
other finger.
different
Okay.
finger. We'll talk on your stuffed animal idea.
Okay.
Hi, Alex. I've actually submitted a secret before and it made it onto your podcast, but that's actually not the worst secret that I currently have. This actually happened pretty recently and still is happening. Basically, I was raped in like late April, and I just started school back up again, and my rapist added me on Snapchat and told me that he was transferring to my school. So we started talking again, and I've kind of honestly been like developing feelings for my rapist. And he is too. And we've been talking about a relationship and stuff, but it feels just like really toxic and like already. It's like in the beginning stages. And sorry, this is like really fucked up, but it's just like I don't think I can like physically let go of him and end it for good, because I'm gonna be having to see him every day in person soon. And yeah, that's my secret. And it's really getting bad. I love your channel. I've been watching you for a really long time. And yeah, hope you have a good day.
My heart.
Yeah, that's horrible.
Why are people so drawn to their abusers?
I mean, I think a lot of times it's a power thing. You know, there's a loss of control, and if you can maybe maintain the relationship, then
Seems like a semblance of control.
yeah, I mean, also, I have a lot of questions here.
Okay.
You know, like, I don't know, was it date rape? Was it like, did he know the person already?
Or was that the first time they met?
Yeah. Or was it the first time they met? And do you think high school? Do you think they're talking about high school or college? Transferring school?
I don't know. It's hard to say.
I think, I mean, yeah, obviously there's the Stockholm syndrome type thing where you start to identify with the people that are abusing you. And I think in order to feel less shame about it, you're kind of like, well, you know, they're going through their own stuff, or, you know, you start to develop maybe an understanding for what they did. Not that it's okay.
Like, you think it's an attempt to humanize them as to feel better?
It can be, I think, to maybe make it less worse for you.
I've definitely been in a situation when I was a lot younger where I would engage with someone who assaulted me, and it was I think in hindsight it was because it was minimizing the experience, and also what you said up front, which was that it felt like I was gaining control over the situation, because it's like, well, I'm participating now,
Right.
but in hindsight, you never really had control.
No.
And it like becomes this very convoluted thing to process the more you participate, because then I felt, well, I never really, then I validated what he did, and
It's horrible.
how can I say that this happened if I then became closer
Right.
to him?
Yes.
Yeah, it's very confusing, but I feel like it's really common.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. And I think also people don't realize that even if you're married or in a relationship, you can be raped by your partner.
Yeah.
Right. So, and then that happens and people think, well, that was fine. I mean, that it's okay to do that.
Because of your status.
Right. And then you'll stay with them. And so, yeah, I mean, this sounds horrible.
Do you have any advice for them?
I would definitely talk to somebody.
Yeah.
You know, and I would just, I think if it's a high school situation, sounds, I mean, yes, depending on the size of the school, it would be really difficult to navigate that. And also, like, not to judge themselves for having these feelings. It's not
normal.
Yeah, I mean, it's you know, it's not the healthiest route to take, and hopefully maybe he can disengage, but it's
Reroute.
It's I get it, you know. I mean, at first addressing the rape in the first place.
And also, he seems to be pretty hyper aware of the fact that it's an unhealthy situation, which is a good start.
Yeah.
To getting out of it.
Yeah.
All right. We love you.
So, yeah.
I'm sorry.
I hope you
don't date your rapist.
Get some help.
Yeah. Okay. Hopefully the next one is a little less sad.
Hi, my secret is that I am like obsessed with one of my friends. Not just like oh yeah, I think they're really cool. No, like it's an obsession over them. Like I get mad that they have other friends, and I get mad that like they don't like me back, because just to note, I've also been in love with this stupid ass motherfucker for like years, literal years, and they don't even notice or really oblivious, you know. But like it's an obsession. It's not just a like silly little crap. No, it's like an obsession. I looked up their school and I found the schedule. So I know almost everything that goes on in their life because I found schedules. I stalked the Facebook page and Instagram page of their school and their parents and their siblings. Like every day, pretty much, I check the Instagram and their tagged photos, like constantly. And I'll look at like what their friends are doing and like see if they're like involved with it. Like it's a little bit much. It's a little bit much. And like, oh my God, they come to me with girl problems. They're like, oh yeah, I kind of like this girl, but like I know that she doesn't like me back. You know, she's not like, and it makes me so mad. Like, it literally fills me with so much anger whenever I hear that. Like, I cry just out of anger and, like, devastation. My entire life revolves around what they say and what they don't say. Like, if they don't talk to me for, like, a couple days, I'm at my lowest low I've ever been. But as soon as, like, they text or call or anything, I'm immediately at like the highest high. Like my life literally revolves around them. And you know, that's like kind of a problem. It's kind of a problem. And I need to stop. And I don't know how. Oh well.
Oh, well.
Wow.
Why do people get obsessed with people? I also feel like you specifically probably have some knowledge on this because I feel like there's an association with, you work with a lot of borderline personality clients and like favorite personing
Right.
is a
Yeah.
phenomenon.
I thought you meant like you can see how I would have experience with it. Just
Like, oh, I think you probably get obsessed with people.
I mean, I've gotten obsessed in my life.
Me too.
For sure.
Me too.
Yeah. And again, I think that it's on a continuum.
Yeah, I like how you thought I was going to call you out.
I know. I was like, I guess.
You called yourself out.
I did. It's definitely on a continuum. I think that saying that you're in love with, or did she say she's in love with it? Okay. That changes the whole thing. That changes the whole dynamic of why she's obsessed, right? So it'd be different if it was just sort of like single white female type thing. You probably have never seen that, have you?
No, I a long time ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. So if it's more like you want to have this woman's life or you want to, or this person's life, or you want to, you know, I think that's different. But
a love obsession,
crush, whatever it is. It's not uncommon. It sounds unhealthy, and definitely it sounds like it's having a negative impact on her life if she's spending a lot of time stalking and, you know, is so impacted by his
every move.
I feel
like a lot of people experience this level of romantic obsession at some point.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, somebody specifically hits some nerve.
Yes, especially with social media. It's a clusterfuck.
Yeah, you have way too much access to be stalking someone.
Yeah, back in the day when I was like a kid, I mean, you just had to like wait by your phone at home.
Look out their window.
Or hope, go to their house and stalk them. Couldn't just do it online. Yeah, you had to see if they left you a message on your answering machine. You know, like you didn't have so much availability. So I think it's not uncommon. Do
you have any advice?
I mean, certain things I think I always encourage people to do is I would delete your social media, or if maybe going not as far as that, if that's hard, is muting the person, or
so trying to disengage,
do
healthy.
it less. Yeah.
I've come to think that anything that is an obsession is usually some form of addiction. And any addiction is usually escapism from some sort of underlying issue. So it's like, what are you hiding from projecting your entire being onto somebody else? And like,
insightful.
Letting them determine how you feel, or like your worthiness, or like how you move in the world based on their participation in your life.
Yeah, it's definitely internal, right? Like we need other people's validation and attention to feel okay. No one likes to be rejected, but this doesn't even necessarily sound like a rejection.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, self-worth and value has to come from within first.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't mean we don't all like external validation.
Ain't that the truth?
We definitely do. Nothing wrong with that. But yeah, there's definitely, I think, again, an addiction, an obsession, anything that negatively impacts your life or people around you, for sure.
Veering into unhealthy territory.
Mm-hmm. It doesn't have to start out that way, by the way.
Right.
You know, like, you know, when you're a teenager and you're experimenting with drugs or alcohol, and that doesn't mean that you're doing it to quell some internal, it could just be social experimentation, but eventually, if you can't stop, you know.
Have you ever had clients that were like super obsessed with you?
Yes.
Did they tell you or did you just could tell?
Well, a couple.
A couple?
No.
It's a reoccurring issue?
Oh, it can be. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it has been I'm trying to think of one 100% where I literally, you know, I'm like, I almost got to get a restraining order. But there's there was a fairly recent one.
Oh my God.
I know.
Drama.
Yeah, it's really uncomfortable.
Well, do they tell you or do you just assume? Like you can tell?
You can tell if it's like, why don't you like me? What's wrong? Let's be best friends. Like,
well,
you know, like, I love you.
A client has told you they love you? Like romantically?
No. Just not romantically. I think just attachment wise.
Okay.
You know?
Interesting.
So yeah, it can be uncomfortable. Have you
had someone obsessed with me?
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Right?
Look at me.
I know.
Okay.
I mean, you're a public figure, right?
Yeah, no, I've had some stuff, but I try to think more on like an interpersonal level. I don't know. Maybe. Sometimes you don't know.
Yeah. I mean,
I think more or less people try to hide it.
I'm trying to think. Yeah. I mean, would I ever want someone to be obsessed with me? That's what I was thinking.
I know. It's like kind of flattering, but also a little off-putting.
Maybe when it's not scary.
Right.
You know?
A harmless obsession.
Yeah.
That's good.
A harmless obsession where you want to shower me with gifts all the time.
And compliments.
Yes.
But don't invade my space too much.
Don't smother me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So please be obsessed and give me gifts, but don't smother me.
But within reason.
Yes.
Just one final question, which is, have you ever stopped working with someone because they were obsessive?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All these people.
Yeah.
For sure.
Okay. All right.
Therapeutically, it's no longer
helpful, right? Because they're seeing it through this sick lens.
Yeah.
Sick is maybe a judgmental word, but a unhealthy lens.
Yeah. I don't really use the word sick unless it's so extreme.
Okay.
Maybe like a few people, but in terms of mental health.
Or in a good way. Like this podcast is sick.
Sick. So sick.
It's so sick.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, for our round of applause, there is a skill that I learned in DBT that you probably taught me when we were working together.
It's very possible.
I would guess.
Yeah.
And it's helped me throughout the years. And I would like to teach our audience.
Okay.
It's a very generic skill you can use any day.
It is. It's just
anytime,
things that we don't
place.
think about. It's a weird acronym.
The skill is called the please skill. It's an acronym to check in on ourselves when we're feeling dysregulated, upset.
It's a skill for us to prevent emotional vulnerability to not let ourselves get more emotionally vulnerable. So if we are dysregulated or something's happening, so how to take care of yourself, right? So P, physical, PL actually.
I know,
physical.
it's a weird acronym.
That's what I'm saying.
PL stands for physical. Make sure there's no like physical issues.
Physical illness, if we're sick and something happens, often, it's going to feel worse. If you're sick and you get in a fight with a friend or family, then it's just, oh my God, I feel that much worse about it because now I'm sick and I'm in a fucking fight.
And it's not that you can de-sick yourself, but you can honor and feel validated, like many of us do when we realize we're getting our period, that there's a reason we feel as badly as we do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He is eat healthy, one E is exercise, one's eat healthy.
I think the first one's eat.
Okay.
Period.
So eat, yes, eating, overeating, undereating, those can definitely both affect your mood and make you more emotionally vulnerable. So, and what you eat and how often, or where are we? Avoid mood altering drugs.
Right.
So that can be anything, right? That doesn't even just have to be, it's like if you take Benadryl, right? Because you are itchy or whatever, it can make you like knock you out, make you really tired. A lot of times if you have to take steroids for some, sore throat or whatever, it can make you really jittery and anxious. So on top of like drugs and alcohol and that kind of stuff, it's just knowing that if you are on something like that, to be aware of it, how it can affect your mood.
S.
Sleep. Sleep. Thanks.
I got you.
Balance sleep. Not sleeping too much, not sleeping too little, having good sleep, knowing, this is like HALT, hungry, angry, lonely, tired.
I was just going to say that.
Right.
You took my
I'm
words
sorry.
right out my mouth.
Sorry.
I never heard of that.
That's a 12-step thing.
Okay.
It's like if you're hungry, angry, lonely, tired, all those things are just going to make
Exacerbate.
Like take care of those needs first before you proceed.
Yes.
Basically.
Yes.
Yeah. Any of those things for me, tired and hungry, those are, I'm evil when I'm those things.
Well, I'd like to see you evil.
Oh, everyone knows about the food thing. That's why I carry snacks with me all the time.
Oh, I didn't know
I
that.
love it.
Yeah.
I love a snacks carrier.
Yes.
Those are my people.
Always.
What's your go-to carried snack?
Little bags of almonds.
Got it.
Nice.
Cool. What's the E? Exercise. Makes you feel
Exercise.
better.
Get exercise.
Yes. Oh, yeah. I skipped these.
So check in with those skills. If you
And by the way, it's don't over exercise.
Right.
Don't not right. It's again, a lot of this
Move your body.
is moderation or finding the middle path. But yes, all of these things help us be less reactive or less vulnerable to things that will exacerbate our feelings.
just a good way to check in with yourself when you're hyperfixated on the problem and maybe not turning it back to seeing how you're actually doing personally.
Right. Yeah. A lot of people will be, like you said about your period, they're like, oh my God, and this and that, and da-da. And I'll be like, when do you get your period? And they're like, oh, fuck.
Tomorrow.
Yeah. So again, it helps not judge yourself. Be in the moment, plan ahead, and then also not judge yourself after the fact.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you for that.
Yeah.
Well, that's today's episode. As always, love having you here.
I love being here. And now we're going to have a stuffed animal too.
Yeah, we're going to get you stuffed animal merch.
Yay.
We'll figure it out.
Okay.
Maybe not, but okay. Thank you so much for listening. Don't forget to follow, rate, and review Revealing Your Secrets, the podcast, wherever you listen to podcasts. Remember, you're only as sick as your secrets, so send them to me. Go to speakpipe.com/revealing your secrets to leave a voicemail or fill out the anonymous submission form at the bottom of my show notes. Today's episode of Revealing Your Secrets is a production by Cast Media. I'm your host, Alex Weiss. My producer is Amanda Elliott. My executive producers are Colin Thompson and Harris Lane. My editor is Arvin Lee. My technical engineer is Brandon Klein. And design and animations by Jeff Schweikart. We'll see you next time.